the Jedi and the Sith have been at war. Many lives have been lost, species wiped out, and planets destroyed. Mass devastation rages on across the galaxy. Still, to this day, the fight has not yet been won. Who knows if ever it shall be? But one thing is for certain, we cannot let the Jedi prevail. For years they have poisoned the minds of those who are Force sensitive, leading them to believe that we, the Sith, are on the wrong side of the Force. However, it is the Jedi who would force their oppressive ideals onto others, force you to suppress your emotions, your greatest weapon. They shall have you training, but keep you weaker than them. They shall have you suffer, but achieve nothing, hindering you, restricting you from reaching your true potential, from achieving ultimate power, the kind of power to end wars. I have had my eye on a potential apprentice for a while now. I sense the Force is strong in them. They have shown interest in our ways, and it is within our great interest to bring them in and teach them. So I decided to take it upon myself to train them as my apprentice. So, I understand that you want to learn the ways of the dark side. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Oh, you have you? No, it's not a story the Jedi would tell you, but the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. But if we are capable of such abilities, who is to say what is really unnatural? There are those who refuse to use the Force to its full potential. They do not deserve it, nor are they worthy of it. Of course, I am referring to the Jedi. They would have you believe that we are pure evil, and yet their code is based upon oppressive ideologies and lies. To deny your very nature, your emotion, now that is the true evil. Like mindless droids, they preach their teachings and their ways, but I will not have them poison the minds of those who are Force sensitive. Which brings us on to you and your training. I have known for a while now that you are particularly Force sensitive, and I have watched your career with great interest. So, I decided it's finally time to bring you in. First, we must start with knowledge to do this successfully. With knowledge comes great power, and eventually we will build up to practicing the physical abilities such as Force lightning, if you are worthy and you prove to be as strong as I think you are. First, you must know the Sith code, so I want you to repeat after me. Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. Good. There are many lessons to learn whilst training to be a Sith. The training is highly intensive and exclusive. The Jedi would have you believe that suppressing your emotions is the way forward, but this is their greatest mistake. See, it will inevitably be their downfall. Your emotions are your greatest weapon. You must harness them and use them. You'll be surprised the power that can come from within. Something Darth Plagueis once said, "Tell me your greatest strength, so I might know how best to undermine you. Tell me your greatest fear, so I will know which I must force you to face. Tell me what you cherish most, so that I will know what to take from you. And tell me what you crave, so that I might know how to deny you." Now I will explain to you some of the most used and valuable Force abilities, and some of which I hope you will master one day. Some that are less used by the Sith and the most powerful. It's not easy to master some of these abilities, but I have a feeling that you are stronger than you think you are. So we will put it to the test and find out. Levitation is one of the most useful Force abilities. You are working against gravity itself, so it takes more strength than you may realize. It is very useful and you will probably use it more than you think you will. But do not underestimate it. It is very handy in combat, and even just from getting from A to B. I myself tend to use it quite often. If you are in combat, the use of Force Grip can be highly effective. It incapacitates your opponent, leaving them unable to reach for their lightsaber. And as well, do not underestimate the strength of this ability. It can kill, so you may not need the use of your lightsaber at all, but it is very effective, especially for using to get what you want. But it is great in combat if you find yourself without a weapon such as a lightsaber. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Force Lightning. Darth Sidious was particularly fond of this ability, as were a few other Sith Lords. Now, Force Lightning is not easy to master, and will take a lot of perseverance and time, and strength should you be able to master it. Then it will cause absolute devastation. It is an invaluable weapon in combat, and it sadly does drain quite a lot of your energy. However, because it is such a strong ability, hopefully you shouldn't need to fight after using it, and it is pretty good at finishing the combat. Although not a physically devastating ability, mind control should not go underestimated. To harness its full potential and full power, it is best used to manipulate on mass scale. For example, Darth Sidious used it to manipulate the clone armies and to turn on the Jedi, something that is often brought up to apprentices. It can cause absolute devastation, but not in the way that you'd think. The mind can be very fragile and easily manipulated by such an ability. So again, it's best used in large scale, but also it can be very handy when trying to infiltrate the Jedi. Even if you only use it on an individual, you'd be surprised the devastation it can cause. For the more experienced Sith Lords, the use of Force Drain to weaken the opponent's life force goes an incredibly long way. It completely shuts off their bodily functions and completely blocks the use of the Force, so it renders them completely useless, especially without their lightsaber. Another ability, which is a personal favourite, is Force Illusion. Now, Force Illusion can be used in many different ways. It is similar to mind control, but what you can use it for best is to conjure your opponent's greatest fears and make them come to life. Fears such as losing a loved one right before their eyes, and you can replay it to them over and over and leave them completely devastated. Also, it can be used to confuse or influence the opponent's plans, and so if used on a Jedi, for example, they can be used to infiltrate and destroy the Jedi. That brings us to the ability of Transfer Essence. Not only does it allow you to conceal your identity and mask your physical appearance, but it actually allows you to completely transfer your soul into that of another. Essentially, yes, this does mean that you can cheat death. There are Sith Lords that have been known to carry this out, but that's the trick, isn't it? Nobody really knows, unless you are within the inner circle of those that use it. Luckily, I am one of those people, and I can confirm it is indeed a very useful skill to master, but not many can. But I am trusting in you and your training, and that hopefully one day you too might master it. But be very careful who you use it on. You do not want to end up trapped in that of another who is extremely ill or weak. Also, if you have not completely mastered it, it will be very harmful to you and be very devastating to your physical body and your mind and indeed your soul. These abilities will be very useful to you, and you will use them in ways in which you would never imagine. They will be one of your greatest allies in combat, alongside your lightsaber, which brings us to just that. In the construction of a Sith lightsaber, there is the process of what they call bleeding. You must transfer all of your hate, your anger, and your fear into the kyber crystal, and that will induce it with intense power. Combined with Sith abilities, it can cause mass destruction, and you will become very powerful if you master your abilities to their full potential. Not everyone can make it, but I'm sure with time and a lot of training and perseverance that you may prosper from it indeed, and we will be on our way to reclaiming victory over the Jedi once again. During your training, you must follow these commandments if you wish to succeed and go on to be one of the most powerful Sith that I believe you can be. So, unquestioning loyalty. If this is to work, you must trust in me as I will trust in you, and you must endure your training and follow the Sith code. Once you endure your training, and it will be hard, you will suffer, and through your suffering, you will be reborn into greatness, as through suffering, it's the only way to fully reach your full potential and strength. We do not accept selflessness. After all, if you seek to aid everyone in the galaxy, well, that will only bring suffering upon them and weaken them and yourself. You must only think of yourself and your training and the goals ahead. Do not let anyone stand in your way. If they do, you must strike them down and continue on the path forward. Do not let others drain you, as that will hinder your progress. There shall be no treachery between Sith. If you wish to overthrow your master, you must challenge them in a fair duel. That will also prove the apprentice's strength, and that they do indeed deserve to be the master. So, I want you to think about what I have told you today, and take it away with you and learn over and over again the Sith code and the commandments which you must follow. It is for the best, and you will achieve greatness through obeying them. We do expect that using your emotions can be volatile, but when used in combat, they are indeed the most effective way to slay your opponent. Again, that is why the downfall of the Jedi will come about. But it's really important that you also must rest, as tomorrow we begin the combat portion of your training, and also I will teach you about other Sith Lords and the knowledge that they have bestowed upon me themselves. There are many lessons to learn from other Sith Lords, not just myself, but I will do my best to bestow every ounce of wisdom that I have onto you. But for now, you must rest, and we will join back tomorrow to continue your training. I will see you tomorrow.